Sweet. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. So I almost started going to my teacher thing. Sorry. Uh, so last time we left off after a crucial incident where you fought Talona in Waterdeep. You sort of made your way deep into the city. You infiltrated the market square, you caused a ruckus and brought her to attention, and she flew into battle, and you all fought her and slayed her. Oh wait, nope. It says here that you got your asses kicked. But then you stole the necklace from her, the amulet from around her neck, Vosner did in a crucial moment, and you bamfed out of there into the sewers retreating, and then Varel cast Wish at the last second to wish that you could teleport to your sort of safe spot up in the mountains. So you find yourselves teleported. Terran was sort of at 1 HP, I guess. He was healed by his... You teleported outside of, and you sort of walk into the mountain temple that... Let's see, I'll give Terran one. Yeah, he's got 1 health. You find yourselves at the mountain temple that Johaf's little temple for little shits.
Temple for little shits.
You sort of drag yourselves in there, each of you sort of various degrees of wounded, damaged, and exhausted, and you sort of spill out onto the floor, all of you feeling safe and at home.
And Mel is or is not still at the temple?
Mel went with Hrodel to take Hrodel to the island where they were going to begin the ritual of bringing back Sardior.
That's right, that's right. So the temple is empty.
The temple is...
tombs and coffins.
Exactly.
Alright, everyone is okay? That was overwhelming.
Yeah, but we got what we came for without losing anyone. So the general is now even more aware of our intentions.
Difficult, but I feel like at some point, I mean, we got what we came for, yes, but eventually we're going to end up with like 5 very angry, very powerful people, and we haven't been able to finish the job on any of them, and she's just kind of like pacing around the temple, clearly very anxious about the whole situation. What does it do, though, the amulet, now that we have it? I mean, we have that power, right? So they are maybe not as powerful as they were before, at least?
Yes, Wagner, may I inspect that amulet a moment?
Sure. Yeah. He'll give it over to Damon. There we go. He'll give it over to Damon to take a look at it. Take a gander.
Are you like identifying it, or are you just looking at it?
Yeah. I know I'm going to identify it.
Okay. I just realized I didn't create like a specific item for it, but I can tell you exactly what it does.
Cool.
Because Vosner totally wants grabby powers.
Okay. So this is the Sapphire Amulet. It has the soul of the Sapphire, which I... Oh, the name of it is charisma.
Oh, that's super cool.
So charisma is so it's the soul. It's the fragment of the soul of the sapphire dragon named charisma. As its namesake notes, this amulet gives you saving throws in charisma, gives you +2 to your charisma score. Sorry, it gives you proficiency in saving throws for charisma saves, and then also has this ability that I can post into the chat. Oh, whoopsies. Yeah. So basically, once per day, you can use this amulet to throw people around.
That's dope.
Nice.
Who's gonna take it? Does anyone cast using charisma?
Wait, so it gives you a +2 to your charisma.
Yes.
Yeah, I could take that. I've got to figure out what I'll ditch.
Now, I will say, you know that you need to turn this in for your quest. At least that's what the dragons want.
Right.
But maybe if we were just attuned to it for a little while, turning in the rest of them would get even easier.
Yeah, that sounds like a good justification.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like Damon's sword all over again.
Damon will relay all that information to the group and hand the amulet back to Vosner, because he is the one who stole it.
Stole is such a harsh word.
It is. You're right. In fact, as soon as I said it, I regretted it.
Yeah. I'll hold on to it. I'll put it in my
Managed
bag.
to win it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vosner will manage all these bits. Shoves it into his bag for a hot second. And then say, well, seems like we need to rest before we do anything else. I don't know what else we want to do for the moment. And he kind of looks around.
Resting sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
How are we on supplies?
We need diamonds. I mean, we have some, but we could use more. I have like some weird fucking potions, because of course that's what I spent my money on. So stuff like potions of flying and climbing and stuff like that. As far as like useful healing tools, running a little low.
Okay. Anyone else?
Basically nothing. And in fact, I'm now realizing that spell used up my last pearl.
So
I have one
pearls
pearl
and
in my
diamonds.
inventory. Oh wait, no, I think it doesn't consume the pearl though, if I remember right.
There is a spell that consumes a pearl. I don't know which one it is. So.
I have 12.5 pearls, so if ever you need, I can provide.
Does anybody want a rod of absorption for a little while?
You're just giving that shit up?
Yo,
Take the pearl or the sapphire dragon amulet. I am at an excess of attunement slots.
Got it.
But this is what it does. If anyone wants it.
How many charges are it? It's only got 8 charges right now?
It's got 9.
Oh, it says 8 out of 50 in the bottom.
That's because I just rolled it.
Oh, got it.
I cannot spare the attunement slot, so if anyone else wants it.
I'll think about it, but I feel like it would almost distract from everything else that I need to have going on.
my build is pretty specific here.
I assume acquiring diamonds would be a quest on its own, or are there merchants about that we could...
Wasn't the thought like maybe up around Mirabar they had closed things off and were cloistered in there?
Is that a dwarf?
Or is that wrong?
Yeah, we'd have to go to Mirabar to get diamonds.
Vagril has never been there.
Like a couple around, but like we can't go back to Yithrin. So unless Joab like planted a garden bed of diamonds around his tomb, I think we're pretty fucked.
Mirabar is a dwarf hideout, right?
It's a dwarven...
It's Minnesota, if you remember. We went to Mirabar to deliver some stinky cheese. Back when the world was young and happy.
Colorful.
And Mel, and you didn't know Mel was a dragon?
Missile went to the library.
Oh man, Missile has so many overdue library
in
books.
some kind of administrative trouble.
Good times.
Oh, can everybody roll me a d6?
Love when you ask.
And also, you can do your short rest.
Short rest.
Yeah. I probably should have waited till all the d6s were in. That's fine.
You know.
Poor Darren.
Up to 53.
Yeah. So cute.
Laurel, have you gone through and changed all your spells so that if they roll dice, they don't anymore for healing?
No.
You might want to do that.
Is that like a quick click thing, or I have to like go and edit the card?
Yeah, instead of just having it do 1d12, just make it 12.
Okay, I can do that.
I think. I don't know. I mean, we can always just retcon it if you want. It might be something... There's only so many heal spells that actually have dice.
Yeah. Heal?
Heal is just 70. Okay, so a 1, a 3, a 3. Did anybody roll their d6? I'm missing...
I did, but it's lost forever. I can re-roll it if you
I need
want.
to roll mine and Vosner's.
Okay, yeah, I can see Terran's, Varyl's, and Damon's. Yep, so just missing Isolde and Vosner. Cool, cool, cool.
Our hideout's about to get found out.
No, I was just thinking that when we went back again to the safe place, and I'm like, we've got to be like drawing some kind of magical ley lines just back and forth like a plane trajectory.
Okay, so now that you're sort of back and debating what you're gonna do and where you're at, sort of having a quiet victory, looking at the amulet that you secured, you recognize that Lyra's not here.
Was she supposed to be here?
Yeah, you left her here.
That's where we left her.
Mel and Hrodel left, but Lyra is your sort of like person who usually handles the teleportation circle here.
Fuck. If we leveled up, does that mean that we get to like long rest?
Nope.
Fuck. Okay. I'm not wasting spell slots sending stuff to Lyra.
I could try to scry on her.
Is that something that you can do like as a ritual?
My robes grant me
Oh.
that capacity.
All right. I think she will probably be difficult to spy on, but we can give it a shot.
Let's see here.
I also have in my ring, I have sending, so I could do that after we scry.
Okay.
Nice.
Would I be familiar or first-hand knowledge of Lyra?
First-hand, dude. You know her.
Do I know her well?
Yeah, dude. You've hung out with her multiple days now.
Okay, so hang on a sec. What does upcasting scrying do?
Maybe nothing.
Weird. When I click it, it gives me an option.
Mm. Mm.
All right. So I think the knowledge, if I'm familiar with her save modifier is down 5.
Okay. You begin to cast this spell. I'm gonna say you sort of set up in the center of the room. All of you sort of waiting around Varel as he gazes in. Do you use a crystal ball or what do you use? Silver mirror?
I'll pull my hood up, but yeah, silver mirror, but I'll pull the hood of my robes up over my head and bring the mirror close to my face.
Okay. As Varel begins this, a drop of blood lands on your mirror. And then another. In the middle of you casting this ritual.
I look up.
Hanging in the rafters is Lyra, dead.
Shit.
Her body contorted into strange shapes, her legs and arms broken.
Oh my god.
I immediately end the spell, drop my hood, look at the crew, say we're not safe, and I look upwards.
Can I quick like medicine check like what the fuck happened to her?
Yep.
Okay. What? Fuck.
You look up, sort of standing under her, and little bits of blood drop into your eye as you're trying to make the examination, and you're sort of temporarily blinded, and you sort of have to look away. It looks like whatever killed her sort of tore her apart. She was likely tortured.
What the fuck?
Can I go to the doorway and make a perception check to see if there's anything outside?
Yeah. You roll me a perception. looking out into the storm that's sort of now naturally on the top of this mountain, you can't see anything through blowing wind, blowing snow.
Do you think it was that assassin general? I mean, this is grotesque work.
Almost certainly.
I cast Vortex Warp as a mastered spell to bring Lyra to the ground so that maybe we can get
Yeah.
closer look.
You gently move her to the ground, but her body is so disfigured. It's sort of... There's no way to sort of gently place her on the ground. She is a pile of broken bones.
Do we have anywhere else to go? Doubtful. How could she have been found here? Was this room protected from magic?
Yes.
Can someone better than me like investigate her body to see if
Yeah.
there's clues?
Can Damon do like an investigation of the whole room to see if he can find any clues as to what happened?
Yeah. Roll investigation, Damon. You scan the room, sort of walking the whole perimeter, and you see some very strange things. Sort of like fingerprints on certain pillars. You see where the dust was strange looking sort of suction cup, I don't know, prints on the wall. Something octopus-like was hugging onto one of these pillars. You also see some small sign of a struggle, as though one spell was attempted to cast. Some sort of material components lay on the ground in a corner where you believe Lyra was probably attacked. And then you see evidence of blood sort of traced out in various parts of this room, little trickles here and there. She was probably beaten around this room for quite a while. With a 26, you also see that Johop's body, which was sort of sitting mummified, has also been sort of disturbed a bit. Some of the dust that was collected on his corpse has been moved as though his dead body was caressed.
There are strange markings on this pillar, and signs of a brief struggle. It seems that Lyra was attacked from above and almost immediately overwhelmed. She may have attempted a spell, but whatever did this to her does not appear to have used magic. And there is one more thing. It seems unlikely that this disturbance to the body of our fallen comrade is incidental. Whatever did this purposefully.
So the octopus makes me think of like aberrations. Do we know anything about like any of the generals or whatever being into that sort of thing?
I do not believe we have intelligence to that effect.
I didn't think so.
We also do not have any reason to believe that whatever this general assassin is It is not some sort of aberration.
That's true. I suppose we assumed that they were humanoid.
Both
Can
Felindra
I check
and
Johoff's body and see, like, in what manner it was disturbed?
Yep, go for it.
What would that be, like a perception, investigation, medicine?
Perception or medicine's fine.
What is wrong with me?
You're looking at Joe Hoff's corpse, and you see, seems like something touched his face, and it fills you with such passionate rage that you can't continue your investigation.
I'm gonna go outside and, like, just look around for footsteps or something stupid.
Damon will wait a minute.
Oh,
but
sorry
then
for
he'll
keeping it
follow.
paused. I don't know why I kept it paused. Yep, you guys can move around.
Mm-hmm.
Damon will follow her outside, but try and leave distance. He just if someone was just attacked here, he doesn't want her to be alone.
Very well. Yeah.
Nice.
Buddy system.
Buddy system.
Alright. So Isolde goes looking outside, Damon sort of guarding her. What do the rest of you do?
Varel's pondering next steps, but since Taryn mentioned aberration, I'm curious if, like, a history roll or something could see if there's any affiliation with Shar and aberrations. Or any reason to follow up that thread.
Yeah, aberration. Yeah, you can roll me like nature or yeah, I feel like nature would be right for this one.
We'll give it a go here. Is that disadvantage because of exhaustion?
It cancels out because you have foresight still.
Cool.
Oh, was I supposed to be rolling with advantage?
Sure. Oh well. We'll say foresight's
It's
worn off. It
narratively
doesn't.
interesting,
Yeah,
so I
we'll
don't
just
care.
say foresight wore off because I think it's only an 8-hour buff, but I could be wrong. Anyways, Varel, you know aberrations to be monsters of nightmares. That they would affiliate with Shar is no surprise at all. Is there any direct tie between this thing and Shar that you know of? No. You've never heard of this thing.
Got you. Varel would just say to Vosner and Taryn that we're at a disadvantage moving forward. We likely do not have the element of surprise. They know more about our plans than we know about theirs.
Taryn will nod, and then lean heavily on a wall. And goes, could we maybe go to Mirabar to find a new base of operations?
I don't know of anywhere else.
You were told, for the record, by Rodel once you got the amulet to bring it to him. So you know you've got that sort of pressing thing.
And where is he?
An island in the center of the something sea. Let me look.
Fallen stars.
Yeah, Sea of Fallen Stars.
Sea of Fallen Stars.
Yeah,
Yep.
we could just go there. It might be safe. It might not be, but we could at least unload the amulet.
I'm not here, but that might be smart. Especially if there's things lurking around. Could I like come back in and get a second shot at looking at Johoff? I just want to make sure before we leave that like he is in a restful state.
Yeah. You come back in and tend to Johoff's body, sort of lovingly putting him back in his restful, mummified position. And you do so with ease.
Good. We are bringing the amulet then to the dragons.
Damon is going to use Bigby's hand to dig a grave for Lyra.
Nice.
Okay. You
Assuming that we're not going to make efforts to bring her back.
Oh, let me see what I have. Don't want to spend any diamonds, but that does make me think that it might be useful to use like Speak with Dead, but I don't think I have it prepared. Cause it's just not something I've been doing. Yeah, I don't have that. Big and barrier, and then come back another time, I suppose. My turn. I will like sort of, I guess, pray, perform like a last rites kind of thing for Lyra, but it's not like traditions of Ilmater, it's traditions of my family. Like more of a secular ritual of 10 towns kind of thing.
How long do you spend doing that?
I don't know, just like 5 minutes or so. Just say like maybe a poem I memorized as a kid or something like that. She deserves someone to say something over her grave.
Very well. With Bigby's hand, are you doing it you're digging something outside?
Yeah.
Okay. You dig a hole in the earth is frozen, so it takes quite a bit, but with magic you're able to dig through the ground and place her body in a sort of shallow, rocky grave. As Isolde says some words over the funeral.
Okay.
How exactly are we going to return to the dragons? Is that something that you can do, Vero?
This is a good question. I currently don't have teleportation circle prepared, and I don't know if I can ritual cast it.
Cece.
I think it's a ritual spell that you could cast.
It isn't marked ritual, but
What time is it right now? Is it like, are we due for a rest?
Let's see. So you guys got up. You were buffed by Hrodel. Then they left. Then you went to Dragon Island? Was that all on the same day? Or not Dragon Island, Gunderlin?
Yeah.
You went to Gunderlin and then talked to the Queen and then came back and then went to Waterdeep and then hung out there and talked to that guy for a bit and then staged a thing in the market square in the evening. So yeah, I think it's probably now about 8 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
Getting close to long rest.
It would be good if we could spend the night in a safe place, but do we need to take the time in order to have the magic prepared?
believe so, which is unfortunate.
Damon was right, this is not a safe place. We are very much at risk staying here. Is there anywhere nearby, like within a 2-hour journey, that I would be aware of? Like, are we like on the outskirts of 10 towns or something?
Yeah, you could go to 10 towns. That is within, a half day's. I mean, you guys flew to Kelvin's Cairn once, and you went through the valley the
I
one
would
time.
think 10 towns would be less safe.
Probably. I was more thinking like where the giants were in Kelvin's Cairn or something. Someplace that maybe we wouldn't be expected to be. But I suppose if we keep a good watch, we should just get started now and try to rest, and as soon as the magic is ready, we will need to leave.
What's magic are we waiting for?
Teleportation. Do you have a way to get to the Sea of Fallen Stars? Like a tree stride thing? Well, I guess you haven't seen any trees on the other side.
So, were there trees?
We haven't been to the Sea of Fallen Stars yet. And you can't scry, right?
Do we have the info we need to set a teleportation circle for the Sea of Fallen Stars?
I don't think so.
In the past, haven't we needed like coordinates or?
Right.
Yeah.
We would need to do like just the straight up teleportation spell.
I do not have that.
You do have that 9th level one though.
I do.
Didn't you burn
You
that?
already used
Yeah,
that,
you just
though.
used Wish.
Just right away in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, if we long rest, I think I get it back. But
Or you could
But then you
prepare.
have to go the whole day without your 9th level.
I mean, if we're gonna long rest, you could just prepare teleportation circle spell.
right, but as Damon pointed out, I don't think we know the sigils to
Oh yeah.
Dragon Isle. Is there somewhere
If
else we
I
could go?
cast sending to Mel, I mean, am I going to out both of our locations?
If somebody is watching, potentially.
Is there any chance that Lyra knew coordinates for getting to the Sea of Fallen Stars?
Possibly.
And does anybody have a way of asking her in her current state?
My only way of asking her would be to revive her. Which I could do. It seems extremely traumatic. But if that's our best bet at reaching safety, we just like, let me look at how many dragons we have.
I guess part of the question is, do we want to risk some of our remaining diamonds on the chance that we could save Veryl's 9th level spell slot for the day?
It's less the chance of a spell slot. It's more like, are we going to end up in combat 2 hours from now and that thing comes back and have people die anyway? And have to use diamonds anyway. Let's see, I have 1,500 gold worth of diamonds. And I would need what? Raised dead? Ryder's been dead no longer than 10 days. Alright, so I would have to use 500 of our 1,500 diamonds to get Lyra back.
That would mean a trip to Mirabar very soon.
But having Lyra would also make a trip to Mirabar a lot easier.
Very true.
Yeah, plus we just don't know what benefits Lyra might bring us.
It seems pretty awful to have someone like tortured to death and then force them to come back to life. But Isolde will turn to Damon and say, for as much peace as she might have had for the last few hours, I think that it is perhaps crucial to our objective that we disturb that and bring her back into this nightmare.
I agree, Captain. And it's important to remember that if we accomplish our objective, none of this will have happened to her anyway.
It's true. It is, it's just very hard for me to want to bring someone back into this that went out in such a cruel way. Yeah, I'll help however I can to bring Lyra back up out of her grave.
You dig her out of the grave and pull her
I'll
corpse out.
I'll just do this again.
You're gonna cast another 5th level Big B's Hand?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. You dig Lyra out of the ground. And you find her corpse.
Can I examine her body and just make sure that, like, she's not missing any crucial body parts?
Yep.
That's-
Make a medicine check.
Okay. It's gonna be real fucked up if we just have to, like, bury her again.
All her body parts are there.
Okay, good. I will hesitantly take out the diamonds from my bag and place them around her body and try to connect to whatever purgatory her soul is floating in apart from the divine realms. And it says if the creature's soul is willing and at liberty to rejoin the body, then the spell should work. So
Okay. You
Okay.
put diamonds around her. Cast the spell into the chat.
I shall.
And make sure you actually consume the 500. You cast the spell on her, and her corpse lies still for a moment. And then she breathes in a big gasp. And you see her try to move, but her limbs are all so contorted and broken. She can't seem to move herself around, and she cries out in pain.
I'm gonna like just start pumping some like regular healing spells into her.
Okay. Her eyes lock with yours. They're sort of bloodshot. Her facial features start having color return to them, but the bruising is there. She
I'm gonna do
looks
the
horrific.
prison like thing where I can restore someone up to half health.
Okay. So Lyra goes up to half health, which has the effect of sort of returning color and life to her, but her limbs remain sort of broken and beaten. She basically has exhaustion level 4. She is unable to move herself, but she opens her eyes, looks you in the face, and says, "It was awful."
What attacked you?
She sort of doesn't seem to see or hear your question. She says, "I was floating above it all. I saw the souls spinning in circles, nowhere to go. So many souls.
Oh, shit. Lyra is describing essentially purgatory.
There were fewer souls to keep me company, but when I died in the library, I experienced something similar to what she's describing.
That's super different.
Perhaps Taryn can speak to this experience as well.
Taryn just nods. Um,
She keeps saying, so many souls. So many souls.
It's alright. You're alright. You're here now.
And with that, she sort of recognizes you. And you see like a wave of relief, followed by a wave of panic. I told him everything. He knows everything.
Who knows?
She sort of turns away and then turns back at you. Janice.
That's the assassin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he knows about Hroldal?
Everything.
Everything.
She keeps repeating it.
Do you know where Hroldal is?
Yes.
Then we need to go there. If you told this Janice where they are, we need to go there.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop with the pressing and the urgency for a bit and just sort of like very gently put a hand on her shoulder and just sort of like wait and give her time.
You see her with like a broken arm pull out some chalks from a pouch in her robes, and with busted fingers she starts drawing chalk symbols on the ground.
Varel starts to record what she draws, but from a distance.
She's making a teleportation circle.
She's doing it herself?
Yeah.
Okay. Varel approaches as though offering to help any way he can.
Yeah, you, like you've done before, know the general way that these arcane sigils are formed, and you are able to help her complete it. And she sort of lays down, or she's been laying on the ground. She sort of is on a prone position next to it as she finishes the last thing. We need to know the coordinates.
Since our position is already blown, I am going to send a sending spell to Mel.
while she does that, I'm going to cast a healing spell on myself.
Okay.
I meant to note that the preserve life thing, how much health did Lyra take from it? Because the rest was meant to go to Taryn.
Oh, about 50.
Okay, so 40 of it went to you, Taryn.
But it wouldn't have only maxed out at your half health, so...
So I would have gotten 10 of it.
Yeah, and then add 10 more to that with your own cure wounds.
60, so I'm at...
Zolda, what do you send to Mill?
I tell them one of the generals knows your location, We also need to know your location. We are coming to you immediately. We have one of the amulets. Send us your location for teleportation.
You hear in your head, Zolda, it is good to hear from you. I'm glad you were successful. I'm not surprised about them knowing about us. It was only a matter of time. Stay. This is basically like, wait a moment. And then about 5 minutes goes by before you hear something. And in your head, you hear the voice of a person you've never met before. But his sort of likeness appears to you. You sort of know of him now, given that he cast this spell to you. A sort of red, crystalline, dragonborn face sort of appears in your mind as coordinates are read off to you.
Okay. I start transcribing them, like, in front of Daryl.
And Varel and Lyra complete the circle and teleport you, and establish the teleportation circle. Is there anything you'd like to do before you leave?
Yeah. I'm gonna death ward somebody in case the worst happens. And I think death warding our cleric would be the best move. So I say before we go, I reach out, rest my hand on Izzy's shoulder, and grant her a measure of protection from death. And I say, in case of the worst.
Varel, as you touch your hand to Isolde to cast this spell, securing her on a safer timeline where she doesn't die, you see beyond the doorway, just 20 or so feet beyond the temple, 2 different scrying orbs.
I sigh deeply. Say we continue to be watched. No surprise.
I mean, they can't get us in the temple.
Are we
Right.
inside or outside at the moment?
You're inside.
Okay. And so they cannot see into us?
They can see into it, but they can't, the scry can't come into the temple.
I see.
Or at least that was your interpretation before.
Yeah.
It seems like everything's out the window now, though.
Or maybe the magic barrier that protected the temple has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Do you all go to the teleportation circle and leave?
I think so.
Yeah.
Will those scry orbs be able to read the circle? I guess it doesn't really matter, but...
You gather around in a circle, Lyra still laying on the floor, and she completes the spell as you all hold hands and teleport this to a teleportation circle that looks like where is it? Oh, where the fuck? Sorry. Okay. You teleport and fly through space and time, as you have done so many times. But this time, you arrive here. first impression as you bamf into this floor is that the teleportation circle is on a mossy floor. You land and it sort of cushions you as you hit the floor. In front of you stands an ancient city overrun with vegetation, moss, crumbling from old disuse, weathering, waterfalls sort of falling gently in the distance. High up on pillars and walls, you see massive dragons of various sizes sort of patrolling, sort of sitting nobly on these ramparts. Next to you, as you arrive, stands a crystalline red dragonborn who says, "Hello, name's Torin. Welcome to Dragon Island." Thayerl bows. As you sort of stand in here, you hear sounds of life. You see color has returned somewhat to this place.
Can I pick up Lyra? Like make sure Lyra has to put in as little physical work as possible to get around me for now?
Yeah, you're strong enough. You can just basically hold her in your arms if you want.
Yeah, I will.
Damon, you scoop up Lyra in your arms, and as you do, you have a strange recollection of one day, or at one point in your life, being scooped up into your own mother's arms. And you sort of recognize that Lyra kind of looks like her.
Things are about to get a lot more complicated.
She says, "Thank you."
But I will keep that to myself for now.
Torin sort of walks you down along a cobblestone path towards the city, and he says, "Come." Before he does, he scratches out the sigil on the ground to cover their tracks, and he begins to assist you as you come into the city. Is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, they
Terrence
will say.
is like looking
Go
around.
ahead, Tom.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying Terrence just kind of like casting about, looking like really impressed with everything.
And Daniel will say, "Sir, is there a place where this woman could receive medical attention? She has endured much physical trauma."
All is possible with the what is it called? The Thane. I believe it's a Thane. The Thane of Sardior can make all things possible. And he continues on, walking with you towards the city. You enter in over a drawbridge with a big gate and two towers on both sides. Standing at the top of the tower, you see golden dragonborns with shields and half-plate armor, sort of standing at attention, and they don't really mind you as you walk in. You walk up the road, and through this small but sort of lively city, you get the feeling that this place is sort of being taken back over. The jungle once claimed it, but it is now being sort of cleaned out and rehabilitated. The city is coming back to life. You walk past cities with nice sort of or houses with these little smoke coming out of the smokestacks, and Terran, all around you, you see Dragonborn, and lots of them. as you come in, and they sort of tend to their own business, not paying much attention to you. And you walk across a sort of internal cobblestone bridge that crosses over a small little river, and then into a large market square, where you see standing at attention Mel and Hrodel. Hrodel stands in front of a big city governance building. And this is what you see. This massive, sprawling city. Dragons stand on the rooftops of buildings in all directions. They have been summoned here by Hrodel.
Does this feel like intimidating to me, or does it feel safe?
Yeah, that's a good question. Isolde, you have never been in the midst of such powerful beings in such high number. The density here of power is immense. This is a very safe place, and yet a very formidable place. All of the dragons here are metallic.
And the dragon.
Bronze, silver, gold.
Are the dragonborn too?
The dragonborn are mixed.
Okay.
Especially since Tauren is a red, is a ruby dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of leads you through the square, and he bows before Hrodel as Hrodel approaches. Faerul also bows.
Taryn will do like a extended nod type bow.
Hrodel sort of acknowledges your bows. So, how did it go?
We were successful.
Very good.
I cast a sideways glance at Vosner, who I believe has the sapphire with him.
Damon steps forward a little bit and just says, Master Hrodel, before anything, I wonder if we might give Lyra some medical attention.
Hrodel sort of stands over looking at Lyra, and you see him hold up one of his massive claws. He's grown quite large in the last few days. Or in the last day, I guess, just quickly. He reaches out and touches Lyra's chest, and all of her bones snap back into place in a crunching sort of sound. She screams, but then she passes out. And he turns to you and says, "She has been made right again."
Thank you, Master Hrodel.
I'm taking notes. That is some powerful healing.
I was thinking the same thing, Farrell. But effective.
He effectively, Isolde, you effectively cast Regenerate.
Interesting.
Your restoration is
Yeah.
impressive. I say to Hrodel, mentioning not only Lyra's restoration, but the city as well.
Life and death follow the same rules. What can be done can be undone.
That blew Vayrul's mind.
Do you have the amulet?
We do.
He
Taryn will
holds out a hand, expecting. Does Vosner just give it over?
Yeah.
Vosner pulls it out of his pouch and puts it in Hurdle's paw. And you see his eyes intensify as he looks down at this amulet. This blue amulet. And he says, Charisma. We will need to resurrect charisma in order to perform the ritual.
How do we do that?
Does it involve diamonds? And do you have like a storage of diamonds to do that resurrection?
It will require diamonds. You will need to procure them.
Um, from Mirabar, or did you have another place in mind?
He says the mines of, and then it's some draconic word that Terran knows to be like the northern dark caves, but that doesn't correspond to a place that you know of on the map. But with a little bit of history, if anybody wants to roll it.
Well.
David, you know that is just an ancient name for where Mirabar currently is.
How many do we need?
Since it doesn't really make sense to say a monetary amount given a collapsed economy, he basically explains it in terms of weight, and you get the feeling that you need basically what would normally have been 20,000 gold worth of diamonds. Frodo looks at you and says, I could conjure the diamonds myself, but such magic is risky. To create is dangerous. Much better to find, to uncover.
It is, of course, dangerous to travel that way. Is there anything that you can provide to us to make our travel a little safer? We've drawn an awful lot of attention in the last 48 hours.
You may rest here. It should be safe. As for protection, I will give upon each of you a boon to improve your abilities, to strengthen you on your way.
Appreciate that. I think we certainly need the rest, and I'll kind of give a very quick look to Taryn and then look away. He's been through it in the last day or so. Did he and Damon die in the library?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, did you just die in this last fight, or you went down?
Twice. I didn't die, but I went down twice.
Yeah.
You're getting Death Ward next time, Taryn.
I think you can cast it on multiple people.
Yeah, I have Death Ward too.
Hell yeah.
Vosner wants to go and find Sally to
Wants to what?
really?
Bosner wants to find someone who's a druid like he is and train his ever-living heart out so he can cast spells while in a form.
Is that a level 18 ability?
It is.
Will hit. I mean, you're 18 now, but you'll hit 18 after the long rest effectively, like narratively. So, Hrodel looks to Vosner. He said, I promised you I would take you to the heart of the forest, and I shall. You look up, by the way, in the distance, far away from here, there's another massive tree. Not as big as Kuldahar, but fairly large. And this one looks very, very old.
Nice. I want to go make friends with that tree. You know, the only way a druid can do.
Make friends you shall.
So, yeah, he's ready to go and train his little heart out.
Very well. He's gonna take you whenever you guys want to go. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Any questions while you're here?
Taryn is just so exhausted. All he wants to do is sleep right now.
Yep. Okay. You are led, I'm going to say, to this building down here as you are invited to like just sort of lay down in there. It's a very nice open concept, big spacious place, and dragonborn soldiers in armor bring you food, sort of like servants. They bring you food and water and whatever you could want.
Feels good to be safe.
Yes, I express a lot of gratitude to these dragons bringing us stuff. See, who needs Yithrin? This place is even nicer.
The dragonborn, as they give you your supplies for Sardior.
Got it. It's a little reminder that that's why we're doing this. I'll settle in to rest, I guess. I don't know if there's much else for Zolda to do personally in the city.
Okay.
She's gonna like spend some time like flipping back through her notes and stuff about Mirabar.
Sure. Vosner, as you finish up your food, you see Horodel waiting for you in the courtyard. Does anybody want to come with Vosner to witness this, or is it just him alone?
I'll invite anyone.
You're going to the tree?
Yes, it's in show.
Yeah, Varel is curious about Hrodel in general, but also about this, so I'll tag along.
Mel comes along as well. So Damon, Taryn, and Isolde stay back then?
Yeah, the only thing Damon wants to do before he rests is going to be to try and ask Lyra if she remembers or can tell them anything more about her encounter with Janice or any information about Janice now that she's feeling better, before then modifying her memory so that she doesn't remember being tortured to death.
Awesome. Okay, so we will cut to the forest scene and then we'll come back for that. So Mel and Hrodel walk this path. Mel kind of behind you, Hrodel in front, leading the way as you walk this winding forest path, leaving the city and going slightly into the outskirts as you fall under the canopy of this massive tree. You walk your way deeper and deeper. Hrodel begins telling you of this tree's origin, and he says, "When Sardior was first slain, He died on this here spot. And then, when all dragons die, they leave their essence to the benefit of the world, where life can flourish. And you walk deeper and deeper into this place, and then at the base of the tree, you see an elaborate root system spread out over a massive pool of dark water. Very still, unmoving. And you walk across these tight branches, these thick roots that form bridges all the way to the trunk of the tree. And then you walk around until you find yourself on a platform. And this is what you see. Mel sort of standing behind you, Varel, Vosner, and Hrodel walk out upon this ledge. Vosner, within the ground, you can feel the heartbeat of the forest.
Sorry, could you repeat that last part? I didn't hear it.
Within the ground, you can feel the heartbeat of the forest as you stand upon this massive root system coming out of this tree.
Vosner would just kneel down and put his hand on one of the roots and just kind of, I don't know, connect with it, commune with it, best he can.
As you touch your hand to the tree, you feel the heart of Sardior. As this life energy flows through you, you unlock a number of mysteries about nature. You come to recognize the relation between the living creatures of this planet and the dragons which were forged here to protect them. You feel the untamed chaos of the natural world and come to realize what the world was like before the gods came and carved it up into various planes of existence. It was powerful. It was chaotic. It was intense. Things lived and died in a moment's breath. Whole generations came to be, passed away. Over and over and over, the cycle continued. And as you feel this in your hands, you feel as your mind stretches outwards. The roots that come from this tree spread out throughout all of Faerun into each of the massive trees that you have encountered before. Stretching all the way under the ocean to Chult, stretching all the way north to Kuldahar. These trees are all over the place. Cormanther, near Silvery Moon, far east into the lands of Thay. You feel yourself connected to all of these massive trees.
Oh, so can I, tree stride to all these trees now?
Yes, you can transport via plants to almost any corner of Faerun now that you have sort of the master map unlocked in your mind.
Nice. The ultimate waypoint. Checkpoint. Perfect. Vosner will turn around and just kind of look at Mel and Throdel and just kind of nod silently, like knowing that he understands that everything is connected, but not as connected as he thought it was, but as he hoped it would be.
The time will come, Vosner, when we restore the world to its previous glory. You have seen what it will be once again.
It's
Good. No.
so, as beautiful as it is, I feel like I don't feel that I could bring about that sort of change. Not in the way that I understand how to tap into my own abilities.
Not
They're all-
yet.
And I guess since we short rested, Bosner will wild shape. And before he wild shapes, he's like, well, I hope you can teach me. And he'll wild shape into his favorite form, the flame elemental.
Yeah.
And he'll try and train it out.
As you turn into this flame elemental, you feel the beat of the heart underneath you begin to grow louder and stronger as you feel Sardior coming back to life a little bit at a time. And yeah, you are able to now cast spells in wild shape.
Nice. Yeah. I think my wild shape, only Varel would know this, but my wild shape would look more dragon-like than just like a giant sort of ghosty pillar of flame, I guess.
Yeah.
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 I'm inspired by it.
Veyroll, is there anything you're doing during this process?
I'm loving the graphic Heart of the Forest landscape that we're on. Mostly just relishing in the age of this place. It feels deep old, like ancient old. I don't know if I got wisps of Vosner receiving the untamed chaos of nature, but felt
Yeah.
like it transcended time there, and that felt pretty neat.
So you definitely, if you standing on this heart, it sort of fills your mind with this ancient nature. But the vision you see, Veyroll, is a little bit different. You see these cycles, these generations passing, dragons of ancient blood and of new blood battling eternally in this place of untamed chaos. Harmony in its cycle, but violence everywhere. Untamed, unending, radical violence. You see as the smaller, more fragile races, humans, elves, dwarves, struggle to gain a foothold in this world where titans fly around, asserting their dominance. It is a picture of nature untamed.
Yeah, I feel unnerved. Unnerved and out of place. Veyroll will reflect on that in silence. But will, after a moment, perhaps turn to Herodal at his left. And just ask for a private audience at some point before we leave. He has some questions.
He nods.
I'll peacefully meditate as Vosner carries out his new skills.
Yeah, Vosner is now like full-on training, flying around this place with newfound power, just casting spells. The spells don't even seem to be like draining his ability while he's here. He's like able to cast his spells without losing his spell slots as he tests things out. As Vosner's unlocking his latent magical nature abilities.
That's very cool.
We cut
So
back.
is it like
Oh, sorry.
still evening?
Yes, it is now say 10 p.m. and we cut back to the city where Taryn and Damon and Isolde are sitting together in this this nice house, sort of open floor plan. You know, it's the weather is so beautiful here that there's like not really doors or windows, it's just sort of open, and you can lay down on your bed and food. There's plenty of food all brought to you. Very nice, beautiful spread of vegetables and fruits and some cooked meats. And Damon, you sit down with Lyra, who is now sort of coming to. Her wounds have healed, and she's able to move around. She's still pretty bruised and beaten, but she is able to ambulate. What do you say?
I say, Lyra, I was hoping to speak with you for a moment if you are feeling well enough to talk.
Yes, thank you.
First of all, how are you feeling? You still look a little rough.
Much better. Anything was better than death.
Yes, again, I did not have the exact experience you had, but I am familiar with it. Lyra, now that you are feeling somewhat more recovered, is there anything you remember additionally about your encounter with Janus? How he found the location, what he looks like, where he was going next? Anything like that you can share with us?
It all happened so quickly. I was awaiting your message to help teleport you back, and then he came out of nowhere. He was on top of me, and he began by just tossing me around the inside of the monastery, beat me unconscious. I tried to fight, but he knocked everything out of my hand. It seemed like every time I tried to defend myself, he had so many arms. It was just everywhere. I think he came from above me, like on the ceiling, and I couldn't even really see him until he revealed himself to me on purpose.
What did he look like?
Horrible. Dark, shadowy figure. Strange tentacle arms coming from his back. An evil smile on his face. He wasn't human or humanoid, though he stood on 2 feet, but he sort of walked like a spider, using his tentacles to climb the walls.
I see. And he interrogated you gruesomely. Did he
Yes.
give any indication during this interrogation what he planned to do with the information, where he might go next, or what his next move might be?
He just wanted to know who we were and who we were working for, what we were trying to do. I told him about Sardior. Told him about how we need the amulets.
Yeah. No one can blame you for these things. The ordeal was horrible. I can only extrapolate from the condition in which we found you. Is there anything else of import that you can tell us, Lyra? Anything else about this encounter that we should know?
Don't underestimate him.
Of course. Thank you, Lyra. I know that this has been uncomfortable for you, but It will all be over soon.
I'll also say that he seemed confident. He didn't seem worried about you. Maybe that could help you. He seemed arrogant.
Yeah. Curious. As though he knew how events would play out?
It's as though he was sure no one could ever beat him. Perhaps that will be his undoing.
One can only hope. Thank you, Lyra. You should perhaps get some more rest. And I will cast Modify Memory. So that as far as she knows, during that time span, she was just still waiting for us to get back.
You're just gonna get rid of the whole death?
Yeah.
Okay. So she just thinks about how you guys were gone, and then you got a message and made a teleportation circle and came here.
Yeah.
As you cast this spell, she's sort of in and out of sleep, and so she's resting when you cast it, and you see on her face visibly a heavy weight has been lifted as she seems more at peace.
And then I will relay to Taryn and Isolde everything that she told me.
Taryn is already passed out at this point.
Yeah, Terrence's snoring on a couch somewhere.
Right on. Good for you, man. But I will also
Thank you for the information, and she's also pretty exhausted at this point, but that's very useful for the future.
and then assuming like there's even a moment when Vosner and Vero return before everybody like goes to sleep, I will tell Vero specifically that Lyra told me that Janice seemed to have a level of arrogance bordering on knowing how events would turn out, and that I don't really know what to make of that, but he's a time magic guy, and that seems like something that might be of interest to him.
Yeah, Varel nods. Says this is concerning, but could be to our advantage. There
Yes.
is fortunately a history of hubris being a fatal flaw.
Indeed.
Yeah, at this point, Varel and Vosner and Hrodel and everybody comes back. Hrodel goes to his own chamber, where you sort of have a standing invite, Varel, if you want to go talk to him.
Yeah, I have some questions. I figured I would wait for others to finish their day. They're
Yep.
contentious questions.
Terrence finished his. Is there anything Vosner wants to do?
I guess Vosner would just kind of want to show off. He'll ask Throdel, and say that I saw the beauty and splendor of what the creation was and could be. But would it accommodate what we have now? Those who are innocent, by all means. The humans, the elves, the dwarves that have respected nature for what they understood it to be, but were not around the time. Would they just be wiped off the earth? You know, if Sardior were returned?
Hrodel looks at you curiously. Nature purifies the weak. Only the strong survive. That is the way of the forest. He sort of looks at you to confirm that.
I mean, that's how Vosner grew up and, knows what the forest is. So, as beautiful as it is as dangerous. So, kind of nods and was hoping that there might be another way to kind of keep everyone around, but we'll see how it goes. Nature is hard to contain. So, yeah, we'll just kind of nod and confirm.
He smiles. Sleep well, Vosner.
Thank you.
And Varel, do you go talk to him now?
Yeah.
You find Trodel sitting in sort of a moonlit sanctum. It's clearly designed to house dragons. That's a curious thing about this city. It seems as all the entrances are massive with no small doors, so that large dragons can come in and out of them just like small humanoids could as well.
Yeah, Varel feels very small, but is not altogether put off by that. So he'll come in and bow as he's developed a custom. And not one to waste time, he'll say, as I said, your restoration of this city is impressive, not unexpected, though. But you've brought light back into the shadow rather quickly.
The light of Sardior will destroy the shadow. When he comes back, Shar's evil magic will be undone.
This is good. When do you expect Cephas to show himself?
This is a good question. I imagine our presence is well known at this point, which makes your retrieval of the amulets much more important. You must act quickly. We perhaps only have days before they set upon us. By then I will have summoned all of the dragons remaining on Faerun to protect us, those who have not turned to the shadow.
A formidable force.
Indeed.
One last question, and I'll leave you with your time. When light and when Sardior returns, you said earlier that nature purifies the weak. I assume a return to that order will be the way of things. That said, if Bear Squad, my friends, if we continue along this important path of retrieving the amulets, I take it then that we will have together demonstrated our strength.
Yes. Wait, what was the question?
The question is, well, I worded it terribly. He said nature purifies the weak, and
Yep. You're asking if you're strong?
Well, yeah, I want something of a guarantee, but I know I can't have it. But just a shared acknowledgement that if we do the work of retrieving the amulets, that we will have secured at least the status of strength in the new order.
He looks at you curiously. You hold much strength. You will thrive in this world when Sardior returns.
And the others.
They will do as they must, and nature will act as it must.
I see. I thank you for your time. And I'll bow and excuse myself.
Yeah. Farrell, as you're walking back, you keep thinking about that image you saw, the chaos. And you think of in the imagery, the sort of vision you saw of the past, or was it the future? It's sort of hard to tell. Perhaps in one way, that past could become the future once again. You saw angels, demons, dragons, all walking the material plane.
I take some solace in that then. There's some possibility there. I'll gather my thoughts, and I see a nice little river running through the city. I'll meditate just outside the building where Bear Squad is, but meditate
Sure.
along the riverbed.
You can freely move there if you'd like.
Oh, I see myself. Okay.
So this dragon is sort of perched outside. Lyra's asleep. Taryn's asleep. Vosner, I think, is asleep. Isolde, Damon. Accidentally muted. Well, I didn't accidentally. I'm gonna unmute Laurel. Her mic was open, so I. Stuff, anyways. Okay. But you all find yourself. Is there anything you'd like to do before you go to bed? Okay. Seeing no objections, is there anything Varel would like to do while meditating, or is he just going to go to bed afterwards?
That'll be, yeah, I'll go to bed afterwards.
Okay. You sit in this busy small town, which is sort of going to sleep now, as the Dragonborn guards sort of change shifts, all protecting this small but lively place. Its sort of ancient beauty is not lost on you, and you feel at peace for the first time in a long time in the comfort of this small village.
Feels good.
And
I did.
yeah, all right. Da, 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 da. You all get a long rest. You're all level 18. And let's take a really short break. Whoa, what the there's like a song.
That was cool.
Yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, guys. I tried to get some security for you in the New World Order, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Alright, I am back. Still missing Dylan, Laurel, and Stan. Alright, Dylan's back.
I'm here.
Yeah!
New day, new mistress, Mark. It's a public role this time. Whoops.
Oh, okay. There goes all the secrecy. An 18 and a 5, that's what you want to see.
I'm happy about it.
I lose 1 level of exhaustion, right?
Correct.
Now I'm just a little bit tired.
Yeah. I'm regular exhausted now.
Just like standard graduate student level.
Yeah, I'm like in mild depression exhaustion.
Nice.
Sounds right.
But you have advantage on all checks to discuss existential angst, so...
Yeah, that's true. But disadvantage, because existential angst is one of the most confused terms in philosophy.
True.
Well, I just nailed it.
Damn. With that, Viral just recognized that literally every religion is just invented as a way to establish more power through the dominance of followers.
Shit.
Have you guys heard of the show, The Big Door Cries?
No.
It's this new show. I think it's new, at least on Apple TV Plus. But I watched the first episode yesterday, and Kierkegaard's discussion of anxiety was a part of that episode.
Cool.
Damn.
Pretty good. Pretty
Did
good.
you say door
What was it?
eyes?
Yeah, the premise of the show is like this soft sci-fi concept that like in this just like regular suburban town at like a convenience store, somebody just shows up and installs this machine called the Morpho Life Potential Machine or whatever, and for like 75 cents you can get a card that tells you what your like max life potential is. And the show is basically just people, the different ways people react to a machine that tells them like, you could be this, like, or your max potential is what you're already living. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Sounds sweet.
yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I need to get Apple TV so that I'm living my maximized potential, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's other places you can watch it too.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, you know.
Careful, those eggs are gonna come out.
I'll be careful.
He's got something in his hand, love. You set it down. We'll put it at the table. Okay. We're ready when you are. I don't know who else will pick
Cool.
one.
Alright. You guys wake up. Oh. Did I just delete somebody? You guys wake up in this wonderful place as you actually get the feeling of like light, like a sunrise almost. Of course, the moon is still eclipsed, but there's sort of an ambient light here as the ground is almost infused with luminance. As you wake up almost as though this was all a bad dream. But of course, you come to the realization that no, this is real. This is only a momentary sort of pause in the destruction. What do you do?
Should we discuss diamonds?
I think so. I think that would be probably the best place to start. We don't want to get caught up into any sort of combat at this stage. We're not equipped, no less the things that we need to resurrect charisma.
Lyra chips in, and all of the other dragons too.
Yeah, so we're looking at 100,000 gold worth,
Sheesh.
or 120.
Well, there's only 4 amulets, and you already got 1.
Oh, right.
So you're looking at 80k.
Wow. Do we have a means to transport that many diamonds?
You got bags of
We
holding.
have bags of holding, yeah. I think it's best that we pursue this course of action without delay. It seems that if we are signing on to this plan to resurrect the Thanes of Sardior, then we may as well get to it.
We also need to discuss how we will get the rest of what our plans are for the rest of the amulets.
I don't know, but we should probably have some sort of plan of attack rather than waiting for them to come to us.
No.
We can resurrect charisma. It seems that we would be in a better position to defend or possibly even launch a counteroffensive for the next amulet. I do not know exactly what boons or powers charisma might hold or grant to us, but it does seem that from the moment we first met Frodel, we have become much more powerful.
The boon was kind of leveling up, but also he's going to give you Hrodel's boon, which is not going to be foresight this time. That was a temporary buff. He is going all the boon of luck.
Hey.
I also just meant like when we first met him, he gave us, new spells and.
So you can add that. I can make that and add that all to your character sheets. That'd probably be faster. 1 second.
Sweet.
Oh, yo, I did want to cast this on myself right away in the morning.
Who's getting that?
I am. So I can no longer be charmed and made to attack all of you.
Excellent.
Good to know.
So are we packing up to leave?
I guess, yeah, we should be heading to Mirabar.
Okay.
Are we? Maybe I missed it. Are we traveling on foot?
That feels unwise.
It does feel unwise, but I also don't know how else to get to Mirabar.
Do there happen to be any large trees in the vicinity?
There is. I think I give everybody the boon, so check your features, make sure. Foundry map. Faerun map.
Where's the next?
We're going to Mirabar to get diamond.
Okay, so Mirabar is far north. The Lurkwood does have an ancient tree within it that Vosner knows how to get to. You've been to the Lurkwood before, and that's where you traveled with and delivered the Hannah to the elves initially with Mel.
That's where that guy got eaten by the Banderhob, right?
Yeah.
Right. Bart. Right? That was his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you guys would like to travel to the Lurkwood and then traverse your way to Mirabar, you can.
That's like a good plan.
I'm down with it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. You return with Vosner to the heart of the forest, and Vosner, for those of you who hadn't seen it yet, it's pretty epic. As you all sort of step out, I guess I'll put all of you on this scene as you get ready to traverse. Vosner, what's it look like when you open a portal through this tree bark?
Sweet. It will be, so you'll see sort of like the ever-growing dragon scales sort of glow on his neck. And he reaches out, and you sort of see the same pattern, like go on the tree, and then they sort of like open like little doors until it's this large sort of a portal, and you just hear like the vines and wood creaking as it begins to open.
And you step out into the forest of the Lurkwood. You hadn't been to this tree in the Lurkwood, but you are familiar with the wood. It's darker than you remember. Of course, it's darker here. This is a place where the light of Sardior has not yet reached, so it is still the shadow realm, and you find yourself quickly torn from your sort of loving embrace of nature back into the darkness. And let me move your token. I'm gonna make it smaller. I don't know why it's so big.
Or the entire Lurkwood.
All right, Paco.
There we go. And I'm gonna send everybody to the Faerun map because I don't have a like scene ready for the Lurkwood. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can dig one up. Some of these things I saved.
It's a deep dive.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's from the Up North campaign. That was Act 2. Wow.
Wow.
We're in Act 4 now, baby. Alright.
Yeah. I hope we go back to the Wheeldath at some point.
Act 3 was like Chult, right?
Act 3 was Troll.
Yeah.
Crazy act.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, hell yeah. Alright, 1 second.
I don't know if I like the sound of that or not.
You gotta love it. You gotta laugh, Dylan. You gotta laugh.
You gotta laugh.
Holy shit, this scene is so old. Oh, man.
Is that a roll 20, man?
It had Hannah on it, Missile, DeMarcus, Johoff. It's got your old player tokens. Good night. Let's make sure the lighting works. Hell yeah. Okay. This is what you see as you step out into North Lurkwood. You know that traversing on foot Mirabar is about, I don't know, half day.
I'm gonna consult the old rules of travel.
Yeah, let's not get into it. Let's just keep it simple for now. I'm just gonna say it'll take you half of your day to get there.
Oh man, this map is so old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do we have enough, do we have, like, enough flight between the 5 of us that we could fly there without,
You could turn
animals and
into
stuff?
mist clouds like Vosner used to have you do.
I mean, anything that's not too costly that would
Yeah.
accelerate or reduce our time out in the wilderness. Seems like it would be worthwhile, but I don't know if mist clouds is the way to go or not.
I guess one thing I'd say is as you step out of this tree, you find yourself in an enclave. This would be a druid enclave, but this would be one that was run by the elves that you briefly met, who had sort of a hidden existence in the Lurkwood. What you find when you step out of this tree is that this small elven village hidden away in the deep of the North Lurkwood is completely sacked, destroyed. There's dead bodies, decades, years old. This place is no longer habitable.
Rosner looks sad, but understanding. As he begins to cast Summon Birds.
Oh, conjure animals?
Yeah.
You're gonna summon eagles so you can fly?
That's the plan.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you guys conjure up your old-fashioned eagle, and they come to be in the depths of the Lurkwood. They arrive, and you're able to mount them. Is there anything you'd like to do before you mount them and begin your flight towards Mirabar?
Yes.
Anything that I can do to make us a little bit less conspicuous? Like, can we cover our bodies in cloaks so that it doesn't look like we're riders?
I can do something to that effect. I have this with my staff, and it creates a 20-foot cube, some visible phenomenon. And I believe it moves with me using an action. That might be grasping for a little far here with the reach, but I wonder if I could travel with that major image alongside us.
I guess it's one action, and it can move up to 120 feet. So as long as you're not going faster than 120 feet per 6 seconds, I guess you can keep it up with you.
For 10 minutes a cast, it looks like, too.
Sure. So you would have to cast this, let's say flying speed. It'd take you an hour to get to Mirabar. You'd have to cast this 6 times.
Okay, I can only do it once per day, so that's not going to work.
Okay.
If you cast this with a 6th level slot or higher, the spell lasts until dispelled.
How far away is Mirabar, did you say?
An hour by bird, half a day on foot.
More than a mile then? Okay.
Oh yeah.
See, I cast it with my staff, so I don't know that I can upcast it.
Sure. I'll let you use a 6th level spell slot to cast it, to upcast it. I don't really care.
Yeah, if we have no other options, we could be
Sure.
like a storm cloud.
Yeah, so you're just gonna be a flying storm cloud?
Sounds cool to me, actually.
Alright. Yeah, you're a fast-moving cloud as you and your birds fly in this illusory formation, trying to stay within this 20-foot cube. Stack it up. Vosner, are you turning yourself into an eagle then for flying?
Are there not enough eagles to carry us all?
Usually he would upcast it, which he still needs to do, by the way. Usually he would. Oh, you did cast it? No, you haven't cast.
If we even want to do fewer eagles, is it plausible that I could climb into a bag of holding and somebody could just carry me that way without weighing down the eagles?
I'll give Vosner his long rest because I don't think he took one. And then, what was that about eagles? Sorry.
If it requires upcasting to have enough eagles for all of us, couldn't I climb in a bag of holding and just have somebody carry me while they're on an eagle?
Yeah, if you don't mind being in a bag of holding if a fight breaks out.
That's true. They would have to let me out.
Yeah, they'd have to spend their action. And hopefully they didn't get knocked unconscious and fall to the ground.
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
prepared Featherfall for this occasion.
Okay, so Vosner.
So maybe scratch the bag of holding idea. That's probably not necessary.
Yeah, where's your animal stuff?
It's a 3rd level spell.
On. There you go.
And then do you have to upcast it?
Yeah, like 4th or 5th.
It doesn't matter which.
Um,
Twice as many with a 5th level slot.
Yeah,
So
I think
you-
that's what you need for the Eagles because they have to be a CR. They're like CR1 or something, so you need.
Get 4 of them with a 5th level slot.
Right.
Alright, and then Garrett's gonna wild shape.
Okay, that makes sense.
Otherwise, yeah, that's probably the best.
Yeah, that's how you guys used to get around up
Yeah.
north.
I think that's the way.
You travel. Everybody roll me a d6. Ooh.
Nice. Nice.
You travel. 1 second. Let me see if I have something.
I was just showing me.
God. Alright, flying high above the Lurkwood in the darkness of the Shadowfell, the Shadow Material Plane, whatever you call it, the Merge. You move towards Mirabar, which you can see sort of tucked away in this sort of massive mountainside. The entrance to Mirabar is a gated wall you've seen before, and as you fly towards it, you see there are no people standing on the gates, no guards. But this doesn't stand out to you as particularly strange, since from what you've heard about Mirabar, the dwarves shut the door, the main massive door that leads into the city, and locked it, and have kept themselves out of this conflict for the entire time. So, as you move deeper towards Mirabar, you find yourself at a familiar scene. Standing or flying on these eagles deep into this cave, you see the entrance, the sort of outer city. This was the place that all of you were permitted to go. There was a small tavern here that you stayed at, a place where you drank. And Varel hasn't been here, but Damon, Tara, and Vosner and Isolde have. As you fly in, you see that the outer Mirabar area is empty. There's no one here. As you...
that, like, people got moved into inner Mirabel for safety, perhaps?
Yeah, that's what you can sort of naturally conclude, given how it doesn't look like it was done necessarily in a rush. It seems like everything has been picked up and taken inside.
And if I recall, there were very large, like, guarded gates into inner Mirabar.
Yes, massive stone doors that only Missile really got to go behind.
Yeah, we weren't cool enough. Just a couple scrappy youngins at that point.
Yeah, you lacked the clearance, and you guys weren't the type to break the rules, so only Missile knows what it looks like inside.
No.
Oh, yeah, sure. No.
Was that for Damon?
Wink.
That was his last character.
Look, every time Dylan loses a character, I gain an NPC. That's what I'm trying to say.
I have noticed a pet, right?
Missile is going to be the one who lets us into Inner Mirabar.
Next character, it's going to be some iteration of Ludwig. Thistle E, Missile, Barrel. So Gristle's clearly next.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for Gristle.
Just the fighter.
Oh yeah.
All right. You fly around the inner or the outer city of Mirabar, and you find the massive gates. And you see written in Dwarvish, "Stay away." Massive runes carved into the stone facade, and the stone door itself bears no sort of seam. There doesn't seem to be a line. Now, it's sort of curious because how the hell would a door like this even open? It's thick stone, maybe 12, 20 feet deep. You have no idea. It is insanely massive, and yet you also know that the dwarves are famous for their craftsmanship, such that a seam wouldn't be detectable in the first place, a point of pride for them. You stand in front of this door. Massive dwarven runes say, "Stay away." What do you do?
Can I call out to the dude that we brought the cheese to and be like, hey, we're here for a meeting with... I don't remember his name. Essentially, like, call out and make our presence known.
You call out. It echoes through the empty streets of Outer Mirabar, lost, sort of muffled in the distance as it bounces off hard surfaces. There is no response.
Do these gates look pretty much impassable?
You see no handle, no clear way to get through.
I guess I'll search around for any sort of, like, emergency exit, servants, tunnels, some other way of...
Could I scan the perimeter of the door, looking for signs of where or like how when people touch a bronze statue over and over again, it begins to change color. Something like that. Sign of frequent
That
contact.
seems to me like a perception roll.
Hang on a sec. Something. No, alright, let's just do it. I believe I have something that gives me advantage on perception rolls that rely on sight. Yeah, my robes do.
Perfect.
But I believe that is canceled out by my 1 exhaustion level, so I'll just do a normal roll here, and I'll probably boon it if I can. Yeah. Where's that boon?
Gonna use your boon on this?
You've made me second guess. Yeah, let's second guess. We'll go with 16.
Alright. You look for a space that looks like it's been worn through use. Nothing.
Yes. Okay.
Anything else?
Can I look for? I mean, I don't know. I just want to like take a closer look at like these gates and see if these are the sort of like if they're the sort of thing that was ever meant to be unsealed, or if there's meant to be this is a red herring and there's an alternative means of ingress. If there's any other runes or anything like that, you know,
Sure.
in a less prominent area, things like that.
Roll investigation for me, I guess. You don't see any other ways, though you do notice the floor has been trafficked. A lot of people have come through here. This is the main artery for transportation. So this door used to open.
Does it look like like there's any recent traffic leaving, or does everything basically look like it was all going in and nothing has come out since then? Or can I not tell?
Even with that investigation check, the dust has settled here. Nobody has come in and out of this door in years.
Okay. It seems that our only way in is going to be to somehow communicate with people who very decidedly do not want to communicate with the outside world. Either that or we take our time destroying these gates.
I don't think we'll be able to destroy the gates. They are very well crafted.
Do any of
We would certainly not be able to destroy them before some countermeasure were used to stop us.
What are the doors made of again?
Stone.
Stone. Do I have
Stone shape?
stone shape prepared?
Let's not destroy the doors of the people we want to be friends with.
It's true.
You still have that charisma amulet on, don't you?
No, we gave it up.
It's a charismatic thing to say.
I mean, Taryn is the highest charisma character in the team.
Do any of the signs of traffic leading towards the door, do any of them fork off in any other direction?
Everything seems to go through this hub to get into Inner Mirabar. It is a single point of entry.
Can I try just knocking on the door?
Yeah, you knock. No response.
I did not anticipate anything, but it seemed like a no-cost opportunity to try.
I'm stumped, gang. A great stone door is the end of this.
So let's recap here. We have stone doors that we don't want to break. We call out, no one is answering.
Yo,
Like, cast sending to the guy that we've met here before. What's his name? Like, Darvin or
Darrington Ironblood.
Darrington Ironblood. That's what it was. I could cast sending to Darrington.
can we tell, is there any like magical warding on these gates or on this wall? Is there any magical stuff that's...
Anybody can make an Arcana check who wants to. One sec, getting my cat out of the closet.
Holy cow. That's some crazy disadvantage Arcana check there, Farrell.
Yeah, I'm pleased.
You might want to use your boon of luck.
Alright, so you're checking for magic on the gate. Wow, a 28 with disadvantage. Farrell, you can tell that there is magic on this door, but with that, you can tell how to dispel it. It's not super complicated. Whoever put this enchantment on the door had access to very limited magic. It is Shadow Weave magic. And it is elementary.
Elementary, like basic, or like from elements?
Basic.
Okay.
Like, whoever figured out how to seal this door with magic probably didn't have very much experience with the Shadow Weave. They were just working with what they knew.
Gotcha.
Is it the kind of ward that would prevent us from, like, dimension dooring through it?
Yeah, it might if it was still active.
Vosner's gonna try to cast Dispel Magic on the doors.
Yeah, Vosner cast Dispel Magic, and with ease, the power that comes from your abilities just rips this simple ward apart, and the magic protecting the door is gone.
Nice. So can it be pushed open?
You can try. Anybody want to do athletics on the door?
Yes.
Oh,
Hey.
oh, fuck.
Oh,
Balancing all things.
Put me out of my misery.
Damon.
Yo, that's rough, Izzy.
Damon pulls on the door with Azolda, and it scoots like an inch, which is incredible because this door is crazy heavy. But it also speaks to just how well made the doors are, that they have these hinges that allow for these giant stone doors to move. It opens a little bit, but also opens up on Azolda's foot, and she's going to take a d4 of bludgeoning.
Can I get any sense like how thick these gates might be?
You can see now. You have created a small crack. The doors are about 8 feet thick. As you can see through the crack down into Inner Mirabar, you see nobody walking around. It looks vacant.
I am going to activate my winged boots just in case I'm about to teleport into open air. And then I'm going to Misty Step to the other side of the gate if I can.
Yep. Damon poofs out of existence in front of you on the
I'll
other side.
step right behind him just to stay with him.
Taryn and Damon both misty step through this small crack in the door to the other side.
I think that's good because if somebody needs persuading to open the gates, you probably are our best hope.
Yeah.
You find yourselves in Inner Mirabar. Let's see. So it's Damon so far and Taryn. Vosner, Isolde, Veril are on the other side, so just ignore them in this scene, but I want them to be able to see. You find yourself looking down, deep into the city. You don't see anybody.
Make a perception check to see if like there's people like hidden watching us.
Absolutely.
Can I look for a mechanism to open the gates?
Taryn, it's so dark and it goes so deep. You're overwhelmed. There's just so much to see from here. You can look up, you can look down, you can look deep in all of these houses with all these windows. It's impossible to tell if there's anybody in here watching you. You wouldn't be able to know. You're utterly exposed. Yeah, make a investigation check to see, Damon, if you can find the mechanism to open the door. You see that there are sort of like stations that allow for them, like a crank to be turned, which would open the door on these massive hinges with hydraulics. So if you'd like to do that, you can.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, by just turning it even a little bit, massive gears clank and creak, but the door opens very easily. It's a engineering marvel as you crack open the gates to Inner Mirabar, and Isolde, Vosner, Veril, you are all able to walk in and see what they see. And this is what you see.
Well done. That was some pretty good work.
So Taryn's going to like stand on the ledge and just shout. And he's gonna like try to position himself so that he's like very obviously glowing. And he's gonna shout, "People of Mirabar, we come seeking your aid."
Aid, aid, aid. Nothing. Echoes in an infinite cavern.
Shall I reseal the doors or leave them open for a quicker getaway, should the time come?
We should probably close them behind us.
Leaving no trace is best.
It seems unlikely the dust outside will remain undisturbed enough to leave no trace, but it may provide us with some measure of defense should threats come from the outside.
Yeah, I would hate to be followed in.
So I will see if I can close the gates back up.
You turn the massive wheel, it closes the gate as it slams together at the end. Can everybody roll me a d6?
Oh, great.
Alright, guys.
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad. I have hempen rope in my kit. If I could take a bit of it to sort of lash that wheel so that if anyone tries to push the door, the wheel wouldn't turn and maybe gum up the gear.
Yeah, you sort of install a little safety mechanism to keep the door shut. It takes 60 seconds for you to sort of engineer something together. You think it'll hold.
It's worth something.
Okay. You find yourselves in Inner Mirabar. You know that the diamond mine is one of the oldest parts, the deepest parts of Mirabar, and will require you to descend down down, 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 all the way into perhaps the Royal District, and beyond that, the mines. But you don't really know much other than that. There are signs up that can lead you to the Royal District. But there is no map. There has never been a map of Inner Mirabar. That's one of those things about the city. It's forbidden.
Well, should we follow the signs?
Yes, and we should make haste. But I'm not even certain if we are free from prying eyes at this very moment.
You walk deeper into Mirabar, places where down sort of stone, sort of spiral staircases that lead you deeper and deeper underground. If you were to fall off these staircases, it would be hundreds of feet, perhaps thousands of feet before you touch the ground. As you descend slowly and carefully into this place, Bosner, you at one point notice a marking on the ground. A bloodstain.
Can you repeat that? Vosner noticed a marking on the ground and what?
It's a bloodstain.
Is it fresh?
Roll. I mean, you can point it out to you or whoever you want to. Whoever wants to know how long it is can do a medicine check.
I'll do a
I'll
minute.
have the paper gander.
Continuing to roll fantastically.
It's old. It's pretty old. Years?
Okay.
Vosner, what community? It's nature prep today.
Is Inner Mirabar very nature?
It's just
Yes.
harsh stone with crystals sort of suspended in the air that glow with sort of arcane energy illuminating your pathway down. Deeper down into the mine, or into Mirabar, there are sort of natural lights being given off from natural lava flows that have been purposefully sort of directed in ways to create sort of these living rivers of fire that illuminate and provide warmth to the citizens of Mirabar.
So, if we get to a point and we want to kind of rest, from our traversing, Vosner would ritually cast Commune with Nature. And so I can get an idea of what's going on, what's alive, what's dead, if there are any bodies of water, or things like that.
Commune with Nature, 5th level spell.
But I'm going to do it ritually.
The radius is limited to 300 feet.
Yeah, so we've been going down a bit, right?
Yeah, but you get the feeling that this cave goes down hundreds more feet. There are bodies of water, rivers flowing through the rock, sort of naturally forming these underground springs and such. You don't detect an influence from other planes of existence, and you don't get a feeling of any celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, or undead. Plants, not really existent down here. You get mushrooms growing on walls, but nothing really substantial. No animals, no peoples within 300 feet of you.
Okay. Sounds good. I just kind of want to get a check on where we are. So.
Oh. Okay.
If we travel another hour down and we haven't found anything yet, he'd do it again.
Okay. We'll say you guys go another hour down, and you find the Royal District. And what you find is basically you have to go through here to get to the mines. That's basically all you know, is that the mines are very, very deep underground and that the Royal District was built on top of it because that's where they made all the money. Anyways, I'm going to say you find yourselves in the Royal District of the Dwarven Mines, and as you sort of step into these massive dwarven chambers, these stone sort of obsidian walls, polished very beautifully, your hallway that you're going into has a cave-in ahead of it, and to the right you see a sort of jank tunnel that somebody has used recently to get around this cave-in. And this is the first sign of any form of life. Somebody dug, hand, maybe with a pick, maybe with some other tools, through this wall in order to get deeper into Mirabar. And we will pick up there next time.
Nice.
A
Man, it's
mystery.
so crazy that we're back in Mirabar.
I know.
It was much brighter. Once
Maybe
upon
we
a-
don't even have to go down to the mines. Maybe we can just steal a bunch of diamonds from Royals. I'm sure they got diamond decked shit. Get like steal a diamond shield or something and run away.
Perfect.
Zelda would never go back.
I am super
Daryl?
curious about these mines, though.
I'm nervous.
It'll
Me
be
too.
fine.
Same.
There's definitely going to
Same.
be some spooky shit in this cave.
Come out to the mines, get a few diamonds.
It was fun playing. Thanks for putting up with all of our chaos over here.
You're good.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate still being able to play amidst the chaos without judgment.
This last batch of D6 rolls has me feeling that we're going to have some complications arising at the beginning of next session.
Sure.
It's fine.
I'm really glad that you guys resurrected Lyra on Easter. That felt appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That whole setup was crazy with her being up on the ceiling.
And I like that canonically we buried her and then unburied her. Because that also feels appropriate.
With a giant
Take it.
hand.
Oh, man. All right,
Huh.
friends. I'm going to go eat some delicious Easter ham.
Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Good play.
Yeah.
Miss you all.
I miss you all already.
Mm.
I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Uh,
Thanks for